Hello and namaste. Welcome to the Art of Yoga project. My name is Dana, and thank you for taking the time to practice with me today. Today we're going to move through a gentle flow, and we are going to focus on self-acceptance. And before we get into our flow, let's take a moment just to warm up and ground ourselves and welcome ourselves to class today. So come into a comfortable seated position. I'm on a couple of bolsters here, and your legs can be in any position. And we're going to bring our right hand up to our left shoulder, and the finger is going to be right by the neck, and you have this big muscle here. We're going to bring our hand onto that muscle. We're just going to squeeze the muscle as we inhale, and then we're going to exhale and release. Do that about 3 more times. Squeeze and inhale. And then exhale and release. 1 more time, squeezing and inhale. And then exhale. We're going to continue with that motion, but now we're just going to reach over to the side and gaze as we squeeze. And then exhale when we come out. You can move through this with your breath. Squeeze, inhale, and stretch. And then release. 1 more. Inhale, squeeze, bend, and then exhale. And then we're just going to brush all the way from the shoulder through the hand, as if we're just trying to brush off all of the worries, perhaps the self-doubt, if we're here to talk about self-doubt, self-acceptance, brushing off the self-doubt. And then flicking the hands. Let's take a breath and just notice the difference between that side of the body and the opposite side of the body. Taking a breath. And then we'll bring the opposite hand, the left hand, to the right shoulder, right up there in that big muscle. And we'll inhale as we squeeze, and then exhale as we let go. With your rhythm of your breath, just squeezing on the inhale and exhaling and release. We tend to hold tightness in our shoulders, and so this will help release that. 1 more there. And we're going to squeeze as we inhale and exhale, or reach the arm out, and then exhale as we come back to center. Inhale as we squeeze and stretch to the side. And then exhale as we come to center. 1 more. Inhale and squeeze. And then exhale. Then we're going to brush off our self-questioning. Feeling all sides of the arm, just brushing. Then if you want to flick out that hand. And we'll take another inhalation and exhalation when you're ready. Feeling the breath move through the body. Noticing how you're feeling at this moment. Noticing the physical body. Notice any emotions. And noticing your thoughts. And we just want to honor whatever is present, not trying to change anything, but being accepting of what's present. And so our theme is self-acceptance today, and that's something that many of us struggle with. And so I have a quote from the Buddha: "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." So you deserve your love and affection. So now we're going to move into a gentle yoga practice, and I'm going to stand up and move onto my mat. I'm going to remain in a comfortable seated position. I'm going to be cross-legged, but you can be in any position that is comfortable for you. Your knees can be up, you can be on a bolster. We're gonna just feel our seat, feeling our legs and our body touching the ground, lifting up through the sternum and our collarbone, as well as the spine. Just take a couple of breaths here. And welcome yourself to this practice. And then we're going to start out moving through cat-cow. So we're going to inhale as we allow the chest to come forward. And then we're going to exhale as we round. And then inhale. And exhale. Just feeling the spine round and move. Noticing your breath. Noticing how the breath feels on the inhalation and the exhalation. And now with this cat-cow movement, we're going to move into something called Radicular Movement. It's a big word for something that is quite natural. So now just notice what feels good to move. Does it feel good to move your arms or your shoulders or your hands forward? Maybe it feels good to stretch one arm up and down. Maybe cross your arms, lifting the other one. Just finding a movement. What feels good in your body? You don't have to follow me. Just moving your rib cage, maybe turning side to side. It should feel good and natural, kind of like when you're in the bed in the morning and you wake up and you do a couple of stretches. Just taking a few breaths here, moving in a way that feels good. I can't see you, but I know you're doing everything right. If you're listening to your body and breathing, there's more right with you than wrong. And then when you feel ready and complete, allowing your hands to come to your knees, and let's take a breath there. And then we're going to move into child's pose, the pose of rest and the pose of wisdom. So the feet are going to be down, knees will be on the ground, and then we're going to allow our hips to rest back towards our heels. If the knees are sensitive, they can be up in the bum towards the sky, forehead resting on the mat. And taking a couple of breaths here in child's pose. Noticing the sensation of the breath, the sensations of the back body. And then allow the hands to stretch out in front of you. The head can still be resting on the mat. Pressing down into the floor, feeling the lengthening on the spine. And then walk the hands to the right, so we'll get a little bit C-shape curve in the spine. The head can rest on the ground, or it might rest on one of the arms. And we're trying to reach the one arm over to the side, keeping the opposite hip reaching towards the ground. Your stretch may look different than mine. Our bodies are different. And the desire is to feel a sensation, moving at about 50 to 70% of your range of motion. And then breathe. And then we'll walk back to center. And then we'll walk to the opposite side. Again, allowing that opposite hand, on me it's the right hand, to reach out as I'm reaching my left hip back. I'm resting my head on the side of my arm. And I'm noticing the sensation of the breath moving through the back body. And then allowing the hands to come to center. Take a breath here. And then we'll roll forward up to our hands and knees. And then we're going to bring the right foot forward for a low lunge. The hands can be down on the ground and the hips are sinking any amount. And we're trying to extend the chest out in front of us. Some of us may want our hands on the knee or upright. We'll take a breath here, feeling the stretch on that inside thigh and hip. And go ahead and take a couple of breaths here. If you feel stable, you can allow the arms to come up overhead. We want to practice self-acceptance, whatever pose and posture we're in. Breathing, lifting, and breathing. And then allowing yourself to come down, bringing the left hand to the ground, and then twisting toward the bent knee. Extending the spine, and feeling the twist from the base of the spine, all the way through the shoulders, and then perhaps slightly gazing over toward the right shoulder, feeling the stretch in the neck. And then we'll unwind, and we're going to bring that right foot back, moving back into child's pose, feeling the stretch on the back body. And it's our pose of rest. So taking a breath here. And then we'll roll up once again into tabletop, and we'll bring the left foot forward. And if the right knee is uncomfortable, you can put a blanket, or you can fold the mat and rest the knee on the mat. And we'll move into our low lunge, feeling the stretch in the hips, in the back, feeling the extension of the spine. You can stay with the hands down. You can bring the hands to the knee, or you can extend the hands up overhead. Just taking a moment to check in with your body like we did in our pendicular movement, and find out what feels best for you. Maybe it feels good to have the hands down on the knee on this side. It may be different side to side. Not trying to force a movement, or not forcing the body into any particular shape. Allowing the body to feel a bit of ease with each breath. And then we'll bring the right hand down to the ground, and then we'll twist toward the bent knee, twisting toward that left knee. Again, extending the spine, noticing the breath. And unwinding, and then we'll bring that left foot back into child's pose once again. Allowing the hips to sink back, taking a breath, resetting, noticing the difference between the right side and the left side of the body. And then we'll walk the hands back to the knees, coming up onto the knees, and then we're going to tuck our toes under. So the toes are tucked under, the knees are on the ground. We're just going to come back and sit back on our knees for a moment and sit up. This may be a very intense stretch for some of us, so the hands may be down on the ground, just putting a little bit of weight, feeling the stretch throughout the arch of the feet or the toes. Taking a breath, maybe pulling the belly in. You can stay here, or you could come upright. We're stretching the feet, a healthy foot structure helps balance us. And then we're going to bring the hands down. We're going to lift the knees up, and we're going to come into toe balance. So we're sitting on our toes. The hands are on the ground. You may stay here. And this can be a little bit of fun. You can try lifting the hands off of the ground, coming into balance, looking at one spot. You can bring the hands to prayer position. Take a breath here. And being accepting of the wobbles that may be happening, or perhaps you come down onto your knees or one of the sides, a little fallout, no worries. It happens. We'll bring the hands down, and then we'll go ahead and straighten the legs, allow the feet to be hips distance apart, and come into a forward fold. Bending the knees, you can rest the elbows on the knees, and take a breath here. We're noticing the sensation of the feet, perhaps noticing thoughts that come after we went through a balancing activity. And being as gentle as you can of your acceptance. Bending the knees, and then we'll roll up to standing. Feeling each vertebrae. We'll inhale the arms up over the head. And then we'll bring the hands down to the heart center. We're going to move through a couple of half salutations to get the whole spine moving and warmed up, the entire body. We'll inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Allow the hands to come to the shin. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, and we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And then we'll inhale, roll up. Inhale the arms up, and when the arms are up, take a pause. And we'll inhale, coming up onto our tiptoes. See if we can balance there for a moment. Noticing the settled movement of the body. And as we come down, we're going to coordinate our exhalation, our arms, and our heels. So they all come down at the same time. So inhale, and then we'll exhale our arms, our heels, allowing the heels to come down at the end of the exhalation, and when the arms come down. And just notice the body. Beautiful. We're going to step the right foot forward and the left foot back for warrior two, so it's a slightly larger stance. The right knee is going to be over the ankle, and we're trying to get our spine aligned in the center of the body. The left foot is parallel to the back of the mat. We'll inhale the arms out to the side. And you can gaze to the front, or you can gaze over the right hand. Feeling the strength of a warrior, feeling the strength of your legs, and the strength of your spirit. We'll straighten the right leg and we're going to move into triangle. We're going to lift up and over and then bring the right hand down, and the left hand can be on the hip or it can be extended up towards the ceiling. We'll take a couple of breaths here in triangle. Trying to open the chest towards the front of the mat. Then with the strength of the right hand, we're going to inhale our arm up and out, and then we're going to take the right foot and pivot it in, and then we're going to open the left foot and we're going to switch sides, opening our chest to the side of the mat. The right foot is parallel and the left foot is pointing over towards the short end of the mat, and then we'll bend our left knee. Opening the chest, opening the hips, allowing the left foot to move and feel the support of the ground, and then perhaps gazing over that left hand. If the arms are tired, you can bring the arms to the waist. Looking to extend the spine towards the ceiling. And then we'll straighten the left leg. And then we're going to lift up and out for triangle. Left hand will come down to the left leg. Right hand can be on the hip, or you can extend it up towards the sky. And notice where you're feeling this. Are you feeling it in the torso, the right leg, or the left leg, the shoulders? We're all going to feel the posture where our body is the weakest or the tightest. So using the strength of the right hand, we'll lift our arm up, we'll pivot the feet, and then we'll walk the feet together. We're going to come down onto the ground into a seated pose. We're going to do a couple of forward folds. We're going to bring our left leg in and our right leg out to the side and sitting up tall. And we're going to turn toward the right leg. I'm trying to mirror you. And then we're going to allow our torso to come over, feeling the stretch. And we're trying to get our collarbone towards the toe, and that's not going to happen. But we just want to extend the spine as we stretch the back of the leg. If you're feeling this in the low back, allow yourself to come up higher. If you're not feeling any sensation, you can walk the hands forward a little bit until you feel the sensation. Again, only moving to about 70% of your range of motion and allowing yourself to breathe comfortably when you're in the pose. And then inhaling up, coming to center, and then we'll switch legs, bringing the right leg in and extending the left leg out to the side. And then we're going to turn towards that leg, and then we're going to again extend the spine, inhaling and exhaling as we walk over that leg into our forward fold. And it's wonderful to end our practice with forward folds because they allow the opportunity to turn our awareness inward. Often our attention is on the outside world, other people, other activities, and forward folds allow us to slow down and notice how we're feeling and become aware of our own situation. We'll inhale the arms up, come to center, and then we're going to bend the knees, and we're going to do 2 final motions, and then we'll move into our Shavasana. So we'll be on our back, the feet are going to be the distance of the mat, and then we're going to allow the knees to come to one side. Just called windshield wiper, and you can gaze in the opposite direction. And then we'll inhale the knees up to center, and then allow the knees to drop in the opposite direction. And let's just go ahead and move side to side with your breath a few times. Feeling the twist in the body. Slowing the inhalation and exhalation down as we're moving into our final resting posture. Unwinding the spine, feeling the support of the ground, and then allowing the knees to come up to center, taking a pause and a breath when you're ready. And if you'd like, bringing the knees to the chest, giving yourself a hug. And if you like, you can stay here, or you can experiment with bringing the head toward the knee, a little bit deeper forward fold, and gently rocking side to side. And then we'll let the head come down if the head is up, and then the feet can come down. And then allowing one leg to extend, the other leg to extend, and then perhaps both arms extend. And we'll move into our final resting posture, Shavasana. Your eyes can be open or the eyes can be closed. You can remain reclined or you can move into a seated position. Finding a comfortable posture to take rest. Noticing the inhalation and exhalation. Noticing the sensation of the feet touching the ground. And if you'd like, you can soften the feet, the legs, the hips, the torso, the shoulders, and the arms and the head with your exhalation. Inhaling and exhaling. And as I started out with the quote in the beginning from the Buddha, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection. And perhaps taking a moment to reflect on your practice today and identifying something that you're proud of that you did in your practice today. It might be your breath. It might be the fact that you showed up. Or perhaps maybe something you didn't do, that you didn't push yourself so far in a pose or a posture. Something you're proud of. And noticing your breath and allow your body to soften if you're ready for the body to soften. Self-acceptance is often challenging. And here in our yoga practice, that's what we want to do most, be accepting. And so you contemplated something that you are proud of. And now perhaps contemplate one thing that you accept about yourself wholeheartedly. What do you know to be true about yourself and that you truly accept and welcome? It could be your physical or emotional strength, your mental strength. I'm going to allow you to continue your Shavasana if you choose to do so, taking the rest you need. And I want to thank you for practicing with me here on the Art of Yoga Project YouTube channel. Thank you for showing up. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you so much.